Hey, look how well lit I am right now. I don't like it. Anyways, there's a fan base that takes more abuse right now than Washington. It might be the Vancouver one that I just did the video for. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. Because there's been a lot of skies falling, skies falling, skies falling. I'm looking at the numbers, and I kind of think that's not the case. Not entirely. So returning forwards, you got Ovechkin, Backstrom, Johansson, Eller, Wilson, and Beagle. 6 guys. But RFAs, Brett Connolly will come back. If they want him, he's bottom 6 fodder. You got to have those guys. Burakovsky and Kuznetsov are also RFA. Now, they're both going to get sizable raises. Burakovsky based on what he's going to get to. Kuznetsov based on what he is. Early in the season, I wasn't impressed with Kuznetsov. By the end of the season, I shut up about that entirely. And in the playoffs, I didn't have a whole lot to say one way or the other, but there was a lot of blame to go around when Washington got eliminated from the playoffs. In my eyes, the demise of the Penguins has been overrated. Or the demise of the Capitals has been overrated since they got defeated by the Penguins. But I'm going to get to that in a minute. On the blue line, you've got Niskanen, Orpik, Carlson, and Chorney. Those are 4 returning defensemen. Schmidt and Orlov are RFA. Schmidt's not going to get a huge raise. Orlov, I don't think he's going to get a huge raise either. Holtby's the starting goaltender. Grubauer's likely staying as the backup unless he gets picked up in the expansion draft, which wouldn't surprise me. Grubauer's been fantastic. And if they lose him, Washington has proven over the years they are capable of finding goaltender after goaltender after goaltender after goaltender. They've gone through almost as many goaltenders as Philly, the difference being they've all been really good. And they've just moved goaltenders along because they've got another new good goaltender coming up. And Holtby is the ultimate for that. And I know he takes a lot of abuse based on his playoff record this past season, but it wasn't all his fault. You look at what Pittsburgh's doing in the final, you look at what they did to Ottawa, maybe it wasn't all Holtby's fault. He was part of it, he shares part of the blame, but maybe he takes too much of it. Now, I'm a big fan of Lucas Johansson, who was drafted last year. He's a defenseman. He's likely not ready. But I still have him on the radar as maybe he'll have a really good camp and get the 9-game tryout. Jakub Vrana. Is Vrana going to make the Capitals as a full-timer this year? Maybe. So let's just go through the numbers. Burakovsky gets what? 2 million? Maybe 3 million? Kuznetsov gets 5 to 6 million? Let's just say 3 million and 6 million, so 9 million. Schmidt gets 2 million. Orlov gets 2 million. Has $13 million under the cap. That leaves them with almost $10 million in cap space left. Their UFAs are Alsner, Shattenkirk, Williams, Oshie, and Winnick. If they can talk Vegas into picking up Lars Eller, big body, not a horrible scorer, not terribly old, but I believe he carries a $3+ million cap hit. Let me go take a look. Yeah, Eller carries a $3.5 million cap hit, but he's a UFA next summer. That might be attractive to Vegas with some extras thrown in. And then they can keep 1 or 2 of these guys. There's been talk the last little while, maybe Oshie stays in Washington. Maybe he does. I think he likes it in Washington. I'd go as far as to say they could keep Oshie. I think Justin Williams would come back for a decent value contract if they want Justin Williams back. And that's on mutual sides. He may not want to come back, and Washington may be like, yeah, we're fine without him. He hasn't done in the playoffs for us at this point what he came in to do. The reason we got him from LA is his ability to win big games and be a part of big wins. He didn't do it for us. Williams could end up going back to LA as an example. And I think he would enjoy that, and I don't know if LA would or not. I imagine Kings fans would be like, wait, we want to get younger and faster, don't we? Again, going back to the Kings video, it depends whether the Kings feel they're close or they're ready to just start over. I'd argue if they bring in Marlowe, Thornton, and Williams, they're saying we're close. Here's 3 more forwards. We're going to see what we can do. Washington is still one of the best teams in the league. Washington will remain one of the best teams in the league. Regular season, there are a few teams that can compete with them. But I can't see them being a 3-time President's Trophy winner. Can't see it. I can't see them holding off 30 other teams for the championship of the regular season in the NHL. And I think part of the reason why I can't see it is they have to understand that regular season's important, but you have to pace yourselves. And to me, it felt like the Capitals didn't. I know when the Capitals started winning game after game after game, I was like, oh, they're peaking too soon. They're doing it again. Didn't they learn from last year when they peaked too soon, got to the playoffs, and then it just fell apart for them? Nope. Hopefully 2 years in a row of peaking too soon and it falling apart in the playoffs, they smarten up. So here's the thing. So before they sign their RFAs and they keep guys, they got $22.5, almost $23 million in cap space under the $73 million cap. They have to figure out whether they want to bring back the guys they're losing. Like a Daniel Winnick will come back for cheap, as an example. Williams wouldn't be an overly expensive retain. Or do they want to look in another direction? Put Joe Thornton in Washington. Wouldn't that be crazy? That would actually be kind of insane. But crazier things have happened. Joe Thornton on a line with Alex Ovechkin. That's crazy. That's put together. They're like 70 years old between the two of them. You can't do that. I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe that cap space gets eaten up by, a veteran player coming in who's got just as much of a chip on his shoulder as the rest of the Capitals. This has to be driving Sharks fans nuts. I've given Joe Thornton away a lot in these videos. Because of the forwards who are available, he's the most interesting. Because he hasn't won a cup. Because he's reaching the end of the line. And on some level, he has to feel like, I can do this. I have to prove that I can do this. So, what do you do if you're Brian McClellan? Do you work on bringing these guys back? Do you work on bringing a TJ Oshie back? Because you can't just replace Oshie with a prospect and then say, all right, we're good. Jakub Vrana isn't going to replace TJ Oshie. Not at the start. Maybe 3 years down the road. But you have a team that's kind of built to win now. Holtby's going to be a good goaltender for years to come. I think he's got about 4 or 5 more years of being one of the best in the league. Whether he's the best or not, everybody's going to debate, and I'm not getting into that debate right now. But for me, Washington has a decent lineup. The blue line's going to need help. Losing Alzner and Shattenkirk, it pulls a lot away. Alzner, they're going to miss more than they're going to miss Shattenkirk. Because Shattenkirk was only there for the stretch drive and the playoffs. He wasn't there during the muck that got them into first place in the league before the trade deadline. Schmidt has developed quite a bit. Orlov looks good at times. There's a decent top 6 there. But they need at least one more defenseman. Ideally a top 4. There you go. Another team, we want a top 4 defenseman. Everybody wants a top 4 defenseman. Everybody. And so letting go of both Alzner and Shattenkirk, not a great idea. Shattenkirk isn't coming back. But I think Alzner could. It's going to take some creative work by a GM who seems to be well-respected league-wide. And who seems to be able to keep the team competing for a top spot. And it's a matter of what he does with what he has available. Let me know what you think. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing around the internet and you just came across this video and you're like, what the hell? Some guy talking about Washington? That's strange at this time of year. It is. It's June and I'm talking about Washington. I'm an optimist. Let me know why you are or you're not in the comment section below. And thank you very much for watching. I only have one more of these to go. Who could it be? I'll talk to you then.